The Spine of Albion, The Discovery, The Three King Arthurs of Albion. Throughout our adventures following the alignment and dousing the male and female serpents, we encountered many places associated with King Arthur. Historians generally agree that there was a British warrior or battle leader living in the early part of the 6th century who fought 12 major conflicts against the Anglo-Saxons and halted their invasion of England for over 50 years. There is also the Arthur of the Norman romances, referred to in a number of ballads and poems, who held court at different places around Britain, and inspired by the highest principles, set out with his knights on a series of adventures and quests. Some of the stories of Arthur, such as the throwing of his magical sword Excalibur into the lake, reflect the beliefs and practices of the Celtic Iron Age. After an epic battle, his body was spirited away by 9 maidens in a boat to the mystical Isle of Avalon to receive healing for his wounds. The Celtic Arthur is alive in many prehistoric and natural features in the British landscape, including mountains, hills and caves where he sleeps with his knights until he is called upon to rescue Britain in her hour of need. Merlin, the wizard and prophet who predicted the fate of Arthur, is also featured along the Spine of Albion. Like Arthur, he is both mythical and historical, and features in medieval ballads and poems. This book is not just the recording of 2 dowsers following invisible lines along a supposed axis of Britain, for it has a wider significance for those who wish to understand the mysteries of the British landscape. At numerous sites along this route, we have peeled back the many layers of hidden history, integrating folklore, legend, archaeology and geology, especially significant where the male and female serpents cross. This has provided us with a greater insight as to why these sites were considered holy or special, and why certain powerful individuals continued to be drawn to them. In addition, our historical discoveries embody a wealth of information that may prove these commanding characters has certain knowledge relating to the Belinus line as a hidden cosmic axis of Britain, and the restorative and the inspiring serpentine energies associated with it. Certain fictional and legendary characters also feature prominently along our journey, as if acting as guardians or spirits of this enigmatic north-south axis, which we have come to acknowledge as the Spine of Albion. Michel wrote that the serpent represents the mercurial currents of the earth spirit, gliding in serpentine channels throughout the earth's crust. The age-old symbol of the I don't know if I'm saying this right, caduceus, I think that's how you say it. Caduceus includes the rod of Mercury, also called the staff of Hermes, entwined by 2 snakes or serpents and crowned by the wings of a large bird, said by some researchers to be those of a swan. One of Mercury's roles was as a divine conduit or conductor of solar consciousness. I believe the Belinus line is a perfect representation of Mercury's rod, a cosmic axis that receives the celestial consciousness from the constellation of Cygnus, awakening and revitalizing the DNA within the terrestrial strands of the serpent energies that weave along it. That reminds me of a couple of things to do with Lord of the Rings as well. Aragorn, who's the king, he has a ring called the Ring of Barahir, which has 2 serpents, and one of them has a golden crown, and there's like an emerald between it. I'll put in the scene where what's his name, Wormtongue, talks about it.
The man. Was he from Gondor?
No, from the north. One of the Dunedain Rangers, I thought he was. His cloth was poor. And yet, he bore a strange ring. 2 serpents with emerald eyes, one devouring, the other crowned with golden flowers.
The Ring of Barahir. So Gandalf Greyheim thinks he has found Isildur's heir. The lost king of Gondor. He is a fool. The line was broken years ago.
Although science helps to rationalize the incredible and provides our work with validity, it lacks any notion of heart or spirituality. The most important aspect of our quest is to connect with Mother Earth and her landscape through the heart, to understand how she can enrich our lives. If we put aside archaeological thinking and scientific explanations, we can start to fully realize the wonder, beauty and intelligence of nature as we walk the old trackways and pilgrim routes. There is no requirement to know that the Iron Age followed the Bronze Age. All that is necessary is a love of the countryside, an ability to observe, a willingness to consider the incredible, a huge reserve of perseverance and tolerance when inspiration seems lacking, and above all determination to find the truth. He who believes in the reality of the ley system is engaged in a quest. His aim is to further his knowledge of a mysterious force and its many manifestations and incredible implications. He will become footsore. His head will burst with ideas. He will be coming to terms with himself and learning about spiritual truths rather than material falsities. Screeton, 1974. The following chapters reveal the sacred places marking the alignment and the path of the serpents, uncovering their secrets and demonstrating how the celestial influences have shaped them today. As we take you on this fascinating and enthralling journey, we hope you will be as inspired and captivated as we have been by many of the long-forgotten sights which we have taken to our hearts.